set in a world inhabited by anthropomorphic elements of nature. The story follows fire element named Ember Lumen, water element named Wade Ripple, who meet and fall in love after Wade is summoned by a plumbing accident at a convenience store owned by Ember's father Bernie. The film opens with two fire people arrive on a boat going towards Element City. Being the only fire people among water, earth, and air people, they are scornfully looked down upon. When they pass through customs, their names are hard for the agent of Element City to pronounce, so he calls them Bernie and Cinder. At the beginning, they weren't allowed by the people of Element City to give them a house on rent due to their fire element, all other water, air, or earth elements sacred from them and don't like to give them house for a rent, and that's made them sad. But finally they found an old place and they too then settle down there in their new house. Although this is very old and damaged, but they managed this, and Cinder gives birth to their daughter, Ember. But as time goes on, more fire people move into that place which was found by Bernie and Cinder. And this place is now known as Firetown, which is kept outside of Element City. Bernie and Cinder open up a shop and named this shop the Fireplace. Ember aspires to inherit the shop from her father, but she has a problem with her temper, as she is known to literally blow up and cause damage when she gets too upset. She also has a young Earth neighbor child named Claude, who has a crush on her and tries to impress her with flowers, but she cannot touch them without burning them. One day, Bernie takes the day off for the store's red dot sale and entrusts Ember to run the shop. But Ember quickly becomes overwhelmed by the amount of customers and their bad habits, so she runs down to the basement to control or calm her temper, where she can let out one of her fiery explosions. But due to her fiery explosion, the water pipes then start to break and fill the place with water. Ember tries to weld the pipe back together, but a water guy named Wade Ripple spills out of the pipes. Wade is prone to big emotions like Ember, but is more sensitive. He also happens to be a city inspector and finds numerous citations for the shop that can get it shut down. Despite Ember's pleas, Wade abides by his job and heads off to send in the citations. Ember chases after him through the city and tries much hard to stop him, but she is unable to stop Wade when they reach City Hall. And she sits down outside, becomes sad and upset. When Wade hears Ember's that how much the store means to her father, Wade offers to help plead her case to the higher-ups. Wade brings Ember to Fern Grouchwood, an Earth guy in charge of sending the citations to get certified. While Ember tries to talk, Wade talks over her and gets too personal about how the shop needs to be saved for Bernie, Ember's father. Ember loses it again, her temper due to tension and upset, and makes another fiery explosion, which doesn't help her at all to get help from him, while Fern tells her to expect the shop's closure in a matter of days. Wade offers another solution by having Ember meet Gale, an air lady who is Wade's boss. He brings Ember to Cyclone Stadium, where a game of cloud ball is taking place, and Gale is a passionate fan. Ember and Gale get off to a rocky start since Gale's favorite team, the Windbreakers, is losing. Everyone sees that star player Lutz isn't doing well, so Wade manages to start a chant among the audience to give Lutz a confidence boost, even creating a wave with the other water people. Lutz then plays even better, and the Windbreakers win. After the game, Ember and Gale are on friendlier terms as Ember tries to explain the situation with her shop. After mentioning the leak, Gale finds it suspicious because water hasn't come to Firetown in years. Wade mentions inspecting a run-in of water outside the city limits before he got sucked into the basement of the fireplace. Gale tells Ember and Wade that if they can find the source of the leak, the shop will not be closed. So for this purpose, Ember and Wade find a hot air balloon that helps them fly over the city. While admiring the view, Ember gets upset when she sees Garden Central Station because it reminds her of when she was a child and wanted to see a Vivisteria flower, as it can bloom around any element, even fire. However, she and Bernie experienced racism from the other elements who saw fire as destructive. The station ended up flooding, and Ember never got to see the flower. After that, they then become successful in finding the spot from where the source of the water coming that is from a broken dam that stops the runoff from ships from making its way into Firetown. When more water begins to spill out from there through broken dam, then Ember finds an idea to stop it when she saw sandbags placing near up that place. She go up there and throw sandbags from up to the Wade, and in this way, Ember and Wade quickly manage to block the leak by using sandbags. Later on, Ember and Wade begin to date in secret. Although there are some activities they cannot do because of Ember being a fire woman, Wade helps to find other things they can do. In their time together, Ember shares another story about how her parents had to leave their home, Fireland, after a storm destroyed their home. On the day they left, Bernie tried to give his father the blessed bow, the highest mark of respect among the fire people, but his father would not return the bow due to seeing his son leaving their home as a betrayal. They keep a blue flame in their shop, as it is a cultural aspect of the fire people that they believe brings them blessings. Ember tries to keep the relationship a secret from her parents, but Cinder claims she can smell love off of her daughter. Another one day Wade visits the shop by hiding himself in a flower pot filled with water. When Ember saw him in the pot, she takes all these pots with her in the basement to talk with him. Meanwhile, her father also arrived at the basement and asking, "Wade, who are you and what are you doing here?" But Ember's signaling Wade that he must pretend to be an inspector because Bernie hates water people, and instead of that Wade pretended to be a food inspector instead of city inspector in front of her father. On hearing this, Bernie gives Wade some of his coal nuts, which are very hot, and Wade tries them out even though they burn him. When he tries to water them down, Bernie gets angry and bans Wade from the store. After that, Wade returns to the broken dam site and sees that the sandbags didn't hold them more long. Meanwhile, Ember also arrives at that spot and comes up with an idea. She uses the sand from the bags to create tempered glass, using her flame to create a strong enough barrier to stop the water from coming out, and Ember's this idea is worked also successfully and made both of them happy. Another day, Wade invites Ember to his home on dinner and said that her family wants to meet her. Ember later joins Wade for dinner with his family at the home of his mother, Brooke. Here, Ember meets Wade's siblings and uncle as well. And even though it is awkward at first, the rest of the family tells Ember that Wade has not stopped talking about her. While they all are eating, Wade's uncle accidentally breaks a glass pitcher, but Ember puts it back together in a more beautiful design, which impresses the ripples. They then gather for a crying game, as Wade's family is just as emotional as he is, but the objective is to not cry. When it's Ember and Wade's turn, Ember and Wade go up, and Wade manages to get Ember to tear up by giving her a heartwarming speech about his love for her, and this made Ember's to cry. After a while, they then get a call from Gail, Wade's boss, who has seen the tempered glass and is happy about it, so she says the shop can stay. Ember and Wade celebrate. Before leaving, Brooke tells Ember about a possible job opportunity at a glass-blowing company that could use someone with her skills. While Ember likes the idea, she is too conflicted about taking over the shop since she admits to Wade that it's not something she really wants to do. Then Wade brings Ember to Garden Central Station for a surprise. Gail, Wade's boss, is also there, and she creates an air bubble for Ember which help her to enter underwater, and due to her fire element, this bubble also protect Ember from water. Wade takes her underground where she finally sees the Vivisteria flowers, which all bloom when she goes near them. After some time, the air bubble starts to shrink, so Wade manages to swim out quickly with Ember to help her. Despite their moment together, Ember is still hesitant to get close to Wade for fear that they may accidentally kill each other. Wade encourages her to take things slowly, and they manage to touch hands, which creating a little steam. They get closer and are able to dance together, but once again Ember feels an obligation to her family. On realizing and thinking that she pushed Wade and runs back to the shop, Wade follows and is spotted by Cinder. She makes them get into her room in the shop where she does smoke readings on couples to see if their love is real. Wade manages to use Ember's flame to shine through him to light the wick. But Bernie comes home before Cinder can do the reading, and Wade has to leave. On the day of Bernie's intended retirement, he holds a celebration with the other fire people to announce that he is letting Ember take over the shop. Wade shows up to declare his love for Ember, despite knowing how Bernie will react. However, Ember remains firm in her position to not disappoint her family, so she tells Wade that she doesn't love him. Meanwhile, Ember's mother Cinder says her that she is wrong because she did find love in their smoke readings. But when Ember mentions her temper blow-up caused the pipes to leak, Bernie is disappointed and unretires, saying that his trust on Ember has been broken. Due to which Ember goes outside to be alone after a while when she spots that the glass from the dam has broken, and a huge flood is heading toward Firetown. Then she goes towards her fire city and wanted to warn the other citizens to get to higher ground. On the other side, Wade, who was getting ready to leave Element City, sees everything and rushes back to help her, although after her rejection also. Meanwhile, the flood reaches the shop, and Ember goes inside to protect the blue flame. Wade also comes to help her and manages to save the flame before the water gets everywhere. They end up trapped in a room, where Ember's flame is getting too hot for Wade. Ember tries to break through the room to save Wade, but he doesn't let her because she could be extinguished. They hold each other close, and Wade evaporates. After that, Bernie and Cinder gets Ember out, and she cries over lying to her parents and telling them that he has gone due to her, and crying because she really did love Wade. When she tells Bernie that she feels she ruined his dream and life's work, Bernie, Ember's father, tells her that the shop was never his dream was you, which shocks Ember, and she felt happy and hug his dad. Meanwhile, during this, Ember then hears the sound. The sound is like Wade crying and dripping from the ceiling into a bucket. Ember gets her parents to say things that can make Wade cry, which helps him rematerialize. Then her parents and Ember do this, which make him cry more, and in this way he came back by gathering into the pot. At that time, Ember and Wade then share their first kiss. Few months later, the shop is rebuilt, and Bernie still retires, but business is as good as ever. Claude has befriended another little fire girl that he tries to woo. Ember and Wade then prepare to leave for a new city since Ember has accepted the internship at the glass company. Bernie, Cinder, and Brooke go to see their kids off. Before Ember boards the ship, she gives Bernie the blessed bow, which he returns to her, and then Ember and Wade goes towards New City.